Everybody, welcome back to Jimmy's Promo, and today we'll be doing the 2-week follow-up on the Nebra Helium Hotspot Miner. Now, we'll be going straight to the point today. I'm going to be transparent and honest. I'm going to share with you guys just why the horrendous start of this miner. It was so bad. It was something that I've never seen on any other hotspot that I've owned before. And then the small change I did to start bringing in those witnesses along with those rewards. And we'll also talk a little bit about why it's gone down on those 2 days. There's a pretty good logical explanation on why that has happened. So if you guys do follow me on Twitter, then you guys know that I shared this earlier on, and also that small little change that I did, which we'll cover here in just a second. So you can see here for the past 14 days, which it's literally been only 14 days, I've earned 15 HNT or 15 helium. Now, if you go back to the last 7 days, basically all of it was made in these last 7 days after I made a slight adjustment. Now, when we go back to the last 24 hours, what I'm going to show you here, and the reason why that there's 2 days where it went down recently after I fixed the potential problem on what was causing basically no rewards and no witnesses. So you can see here that there's 3 witnesses, which means that there's 3 other hotspots within my area. And then now it went down to 2, and that is because about 7 or 8 hours ago, I noticed one that I usually get a lot of proof of coverage and witnessing from. They went offline about 7 or 8 hours ago, but they're usually pretty good at bringing it back up. This is what happened a couple days ago. So when you take a look back on this day here, I only earned 0.33. And then today is 0.38. So you can see that they're very, very similar, and it's really just coming from challenges and a few things like that. So I know today's video is all about the Nebra Helium Hotspot Miner, but I do want to let you guys know that as of right now, June 9th, the only 2 manufacturers that are selling and accepting sales of the Helium Hotspot Miners is Syncrobit as well as Bobcat. So if you do want to purchase some Helium Hotspot miners, you don't really know where to go, I do have 2 links below the video inside the description taking you to Syncrobit as well as Bobcat to purchase your hotspots. So this way you can accept them and receive them before the end of this year so you can start mining helium. Now, Nebra, they have halted for the last about 2 months by now, just so they can make sure that they are not overselling what they can manufacture. But I believe they should hopefully start back up with their sales full capacity, maybe at the mid to end of June. So I'm sure I'll talk about another video later on because I still have, 2 more weeks to go for the 30 days. I'll let you guys know how it's done for a full 30 days. Hopefully by then I can say Nebra has started accepting sales. But again, it's only going to be Syncrobit and Bobcat if you guys are interested in getting into mining helium. Now, this one here is sitting in a residential area. There's only 3 hotspots that is pretty close. There's a 4th one that it can sometimes hit. But anyways, you can see that you're able to get almost 3 helium, 2.8 helium, 4.74. This is the day where one of them went down. And we also got 1.5 and 1.7. And the thing is that you'll never see a exact straight line. You'll actually usually always see something like this, kind of like a skyline. So you'll see where it'll kind of go up, and then it'll build down, build back up, and then come back down again. It's actually very similar to the challenges. So if you notice this kind of going up and down, kind of like that cityscape type of look, that's usually what you'll get. It's never a consistent exact number, but this is kind of the explanation of why these 2 went down, just because one of the closest hotspots that it's basically in a perfect distance away went down on this day and also today. But I usually average, I would say, between 2 and let's just say 3 heliums per day. Now for the last 14 days, here's where you can see that it was getting 0.08, 0.1, 0.2, 0.07. There's 2 days where it's at exactly nothing, 0.38, 0.09, and then you see it going up like this, and you can just see that it was just a drastic change. Also, all of these days here, 0 witnesses. So for the first 9 days, I earned less than 1 helium, which is just completely unheard of. There's other hotspots within this area that was added the exact same day. I also added 2 or 3 other hotspots about 2 days later, and they also performed better than this one here. So I know that Nebra has come out and they talked about how they were fixing some of these hotspots and some of the attachments where the antenna is. Now, this is not the exact antenna that is a part of Nebra. I'll actually show a little bit of what it looked like when I unboxed it. And I might have even said in that video that I was a little worried about that antenna. It was more flimsy than any other antenna that is part of any other hotspot. So when it comes down to any of these stock antennas, they're all rubber or made of plastic. They're not really the best, and a lot of times they screw directly into the hotspot itself, so you don't have that leeway to move this antenna somewhere else. So again, I was using the stock antenna of the Nebra, and it was the most flimsiest, crappiest type of antenna that I've ever seen. And then I switched it out with this one right here, which this one is a 3 dBi fiberglass antenna. This is the antenna that I was sharing on my Twitter. And I'll also place this link below the video inside the description. I have this one also at my house. I moved it over to this house, so then this way it can perform, and that's exactly what it did. Now, the other antenna that I have here at this house, which I'll zoom out a little bit, is going to be this long antenna here. So this one is a 5.8 dBi. This one actually came from rackwireless.com. I'll place this link below the video inside the description as well. And if you're curious about the lengths of these two fiberglass antennas, this one is 16 inches long, while the 5.8 dBi from Rack Wireless is 32 inches long. So when you take a step back and you take a look at some of these stock antennas, now this one is fairly similar to the one that's on the Rack Hotspot miner. This one is actually from the OG Helium Hotspot. It's that square looking white one that I originally opened for the first time, or I should say my first miner that I've owned. This one came from that one. Then I moved over, I used this 3.0 dBi right here. This one's actually a really nice price also on Amazon as well. What you want to look for is fiberglass 915 megahertz. So then this way you'd be able to find the correct frequency when it comes down to fiberglass antennas. And also when you have fiberglass antennas, more than likely you'd be able to also put these ones outside and be completely safe. They also come with a cable that you're able to attach, so you can put it away from the miner. So mine is sitting on a bookshelf with the with the antenna up on the window. Over at my buddy's place, the Nebra is sitting on a bookshelf with the antenna up on the window as well. And it was from doing that is how we were able to get these results right here. Now, if this hotspot was somewhere else, maybe downtown or somewhere where there's more than just 3 witnesses within the area, then you know for a fact it would do much more than 15. So these are just my results. I know that Nebra has stated that they fixed the antenna issue possibly, but I think it was mostly just the port and the thread of the antenna. But still, when it comes down to it, you always want to take a look at third-party antennas, or the ones from Rack Wireless, the ones from Nebra or Parlay Labs, really anywhere that you'd be able to find a fiberglass antenna. And stay tuned to tomorrow's video. I believe it's tomorrow. It's the very next video. I'll be going through all the antennas that I have, talking about 8 dBi, 3 dBi, 4 dBi, 5.8 dBi, things like that. And also too, you can take a look. So with the original stock antenna, we got basically no rewards. We got 0 witnesses, and you can notice that the challenges was just not doing well at all. But then once we changed it up, you'd be able to see that the witnesses came in, and then the challenges was more consistent on what it should actually look like. You shouldn't be going down to this low of number and this low of number when it comes down to challenges when you have 3 other hotspots within the area. Now, when you take a look at the 30-day, there's really nothing much more to show here, just because we again only had it for 2 weeks. You can see that there was some work trying to be done. It was trying to do something, but it really couldn't. No witnesses. Made the change, again to the antenna, and then there we go. I wish I had this antenna from day one, because then I would have stated we had over 30 heliums for the first 2 weeks. But that's just one of those things that you run into, and you never really know what you're gonna get. And I'd have to say that for all the other hotspots I have, I use these stock antennas for the first 2 weeks for video purposes. Then I switched them out to all of my fiberglass antennas, so this way I can also show a difference on that as well. All the rest of them have done the way and performed the way that they have. I've connected over 22 to 24 different hotspots, so I know what I'm looking for. I know what should be happening, and this right here is just something that should not happen at all. And that was how I knew it was just a faulty antenna, or just a really cheap, flimsy one at that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and appreciated the fact that I've been super honest and transparent exactly how bad it is done, what was the actual root cause on why it was doing so bad, what I did to change that. My guess is because we've seen a kind of a downslope, and because it's been underperforming for the past couple days, I feel that tomorrow I might actually see a day where there's probably a good 4 or 5 helium, just to kind of average everything out, and that's really kind of what they do. But again, I hope you guys appreciated this video. If you guys did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe if you have not subscribed already. You can do that on the very bottom left-hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll also like this video. And I'll see you guys later.